Well, thank you and welcome to another episode of Building Your Business with the Certified Commercial Property Inspectors Association. I am so tickled today to have Ian Schroff with me. He is part of InterNACHI's marketing design team and just an excellent graphic artist. And welcome, Ian. Thanks for taking some time today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Well, let's hold off on your excitement until we get a little further into this and realize that we're hoping this is not the biggest debacle of your day. Our goal, there's so many stopgaps in this industry, and for forever and a day, it's make a business card, hang a shingle, you is one, and it stops. And there's so many resources and so many other things that you can do with your business to blow it up, to expand it, to get your name out there. And in a previous episode, if you haven't watched it, we talked about logos.
Mhm.
And I think this is our perfect transition into talking about marketing collateral. And so that's why you're here, Ian.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. I think I
So
saw you talking with Levi before, so I think that went well.
yeah, you lost a bet. And was forced to spend some time with me. Um, when when I think about this type of collateral, I know let's give a little bit of your background, and don't be ashamed of it. I know that you've been with InterNACHI for a while.
Mhm.
What's your role at InterNACHI?
So I do all the print marketing services here. So I'm a member marketer. I do graphic design. My background is in graphic design. Went to school for it. Got this job here. Been working here for about half a decade, and have been creating print marketing for our members for 5 years now.
So you've got a unique background in the fact that your mentality is inspections.
Mhm.
It's not like, you go to some random graphic artist and say, check me out. And then you spend 7 meetings defining what you do. And then they
Yeah.
still mess it up.
Yeah, that's the hard part. I mean, once you're going with freelance work and I mean, it's great to like find somebody. There's a ton of very talented people out there, but yeah, we have years of experience with working with inspections in particular. So it's really helpful. I feel like our services are fantastic for that because we have loads of people here. We got 4 or 5 designers that all work on in this industry in particular. So
Yeah. There's not a lost in translation episode of the talent pool. That's for darn sure. So when we know in commercials is a lot more diverse than residential. What I mean by
Mhm.
that is residential, you're dealing with basically 3 types of properties: a standalone house, a condominium where you own a little bit, or maybe a townhouse. They're really not that much different. But when we're thinking about commercial, I mean, I could have a warehouse, an office space, a suite, a multifamily. And so designing your marketing collateral has to be equally as diverse. Wouldn't you agree?
I would, yeah. I mean, it's about knowing your target audience and knowing who you're trying to market to. So if you have a particular, if you're working with one particular genre of the commercial
Mhm.
world, or you're diverse, but you're trying to sell one thing, then you should target that one thing, of course.
And I think that's important. I've talked to a lot of members, and I'll talk to member A, and he'll go, or she'll go, I never want to do anything other than multifamily. It
Hmm.
is so close to being a home inspector without being a home inspector, and I can do bigger properties. Fabulous. And so why not build all your collateral pointing that way, vice versus being all over the board. So yeah, I think it's a great thing. So what I wanted to do is open the floor up to you so that you can kind of go through some best practices and what you think graphically sells or has the potential to sell the most. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it up to you to kind of walk through a little bit for us.
Yeah, definitely. I'll share
Show
my
and tell.
I got you. I got you. see, let me know if you can see this.
Perfectly.
Okay, perfect.
It's kitty cats, right?
It's kitty cats, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to just show that, and then we'll get into it.
Okay.
Yeah, so obviously, I work for InterNACHI, so most of the stuff that we do in our marketing department, it is like 99% residential inspections, but we do still get a lot of members coming through with CCPIA, and really commercial inspections are starting to grow and grow and grow in our department. So we are creating more and more stuff. We can do that. So this is a cool opportunity to reach out and be like, hey, yeah, to anybody who's listening, like we can provide you commercial print marketing design services. Um, and so I'm basically going to explain what we do and basic design principles, and then see how that can work for you.
Yeah,
So
because at the end of the day, our goal is to build business, and this is the a cornerstone
yeah,
in
absolutely.
getting your name out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll go through at the end too and kind of talk about how to go through the InterNACHI's design process and a little more about what we do. But to start, I think a good place to be would be the golden rules of print marketing materials, marketing in general, but these, I would say, are the top 5 things to keep in mind always when you're doing any sort of print marketing material. And it's not just one or the other, they all overlap. And so these are fantastic. One, just like we stated earlier, is understanding your audience. Being able to target your audience is huge. Knowing who you're trying to sell to is going to make the biggest difference of whether or not your advertising is going to work or not. Because if you're trying to sell a vegan ice cream to a bunch of people who don't, or vice versa, a dairy ice cream for a bunch of people who are vegan, it's not going to work. And so you want to make sure that you know your audience, that your example before of the multi-unit family housing, like if that's what you're trying to hit, then sell that again and again. Another one is keeping it simple. This is one that I get a lot. A lot of people want to just kind of overload. They want to say everything within their marketing right off the bat, get it all out there, fill out every little detail about what they do, because a lot of people offer a lot, and they have a lot of credentials. They've got an extensive background. They got a lot of services that they're offering, and so they want to pack it all in and get you all the information possible. But something that's a little difficult about that is that it can be overwhelming, and a lot of people don't want to read that much. And so if you're just packing your marketing full of just endless paragraphs full of things, or
Mhm.
it can just get a little overwhelming as the audience member. Even though your intentions are pure, keeping it simple is the way to go. Another one is hierarchy. This one kind of comes into the design principles, but one thing to think about when you're going into creating a piece of print marketing material is what you want to do it for. You want to create a hierarchy to where, okay, I'm trying to sell multi-unit housing. I'm trying to sell radon testing. I'm trying to sell this in particular. And if you have one, two, or three things in mind that you are making sure that you want to highlight, then it's huge in creating the design principles around these calls to action that are, hey, my name is this, and this is what I offer, and here's how you contact me. And so if you can hit those points, basically your marketing is just meant to get somebody in contact with you, then you're selling yourself at that point. And so you're trying to create that bridge as easy as possible. And you just like a good bridge, you want to know how I get on, all the signage is right, here's
Yeah.
where I should be, and it's a clear road from here to there. You always want it to be nice and well addressed. Colors and visuals kind of go back to that hierarchy. This is a great way to, if you're selling a particular thing, like one genre of the commercial world, then use imagery that reflects that. If you're trying to sell for a bunch of mold testing, or drone services, or a particular style of a building, then use your imagery to reinforce that point, so that at a glance, people can see exactly what you're offering. makes it really simple. And then the last point kind of ties it all together, that repetition and consistency, constantly pushing the same brand identity, the same colors throughout your marketing, the same kind of imagery throughout your marketing, or the same general feel throughout all your marketing is really going to tie everything together. It makes your marketing memorable, and it yeah, it keeps it consistent, and consistency is memorability, that it works every time. Just like how we learn a language, you want to know the same word again and again. The visual patterns do the same thing. So just like seeing the little Apple logo on everything, it's like it may be on a bunch of different products, but you feel the same way. And so beyond that, I'll just show a couple of examples
So
of
all that makes so much sense. I mean, I go
yeah.
back a long time ago. I remember the very first guy that ever tried to build a website for me. And he was just like, you don't put your entire life history on your website. You got
Yeah.
to make them call you.
Yeah.
That's the whole call that you said it best, call to action. And so the brochure should be, or your collateral should be enough to interest them to call you, because you're going to be able to give them far more verbally than they'd ever want to read.
Yeah, exactly. You just
This
want
is
to give them the
brilliant.
categories, and then you yourself, you're going to be able to explain it. You're going to give them your personality. You're going to make the sale after
Yeah.
that point. This is just to get that contact.
And if you're any good, you're going to tailor that sale specifically to the inflection that your client had on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. Because everybody's different too, you know?
Yep.
Not just like every house, every building's different, like every person's different. And so, yeah, you just want you are at the end of the day the pivot point that's going to make it all happen. You're the glue to all of it, but the marketing is something that can just get somebody's foot in the door. And once their foot's in the door, then you got them. And that's your knowledge, your skills, your background, your experience that comes into play.
Awesome.
All right, let's get into some of this just to show you a couple of examples. Um, and then I kept the golden rules along the bottom so that we can
Yeah.
constantly see how it's being reinforced in here. This is one that we did for this company called Champion Property Inspection. We actually didn't even
Shout
create.
out.
Yeah, do you know them?
No,
Oh
but
yeah,
in case
okay. I was
in
like,
case
okay,
they're
I didn't know
watching,
Steven.
they're
Yeah,
a
for
veteran
sure.
owned company in is that 812? No, yeah,
Yeah, this is Indiana. Yeah.
in 812. So shout out to 812
Shout out. I
champion.
believe his name is Stephen Ranger, and yeah, Austin Denning.
All
Those are the
right.
two that are running this. So yeah, basically this is we didn't actually create their logo. They came to us already with a logo created, which is a great like if you already have something set up, awesome. But this just goes to show how we can turn your logo and your idea and extend it throughout your
Mhm.
marketing. So even these little points like within his logo, they have these little pieces of it looks like, you know, nuts and bolts coming through. So we reinforce that throughout all the marketing in the background.
Oh, nice.
That keeps it as the color and visual and the repetition and consistency game. You can see that all the colors are matched throughout it. They feel cohesive. The brand identity is easily getting communicated through. And then understanding your audience, they're marketing this for commercial inspections. They're pushing radon testing, termite testing, and sewer scoping there too. Their standard inspections, they're keeping it simple, directing it directly to them.
Mhm.
Knowing with commercial buildings on the front, they're veteran owned, that you know pushes a certain audience, and then blasting that they have a whole bunch of Google reviews, CCPIA certified, they're master inspectors. This is all huge points that go in, that tie in, that show their credentials and reinforce that they're the ones that you should contact. Everything's simple, everything's clean. At a glance, in terms of the hierarchy, one rule of thumb that we always used to do, a little trick when we were in when I was in school, was that you would pin your marketing on the wall, and then you turn around, and then you look back, and you can also do this just eyes closed. You look back at it, and then the first thing that your eyes hit when you see that marketing. So where does your eye go to? if it's immediately like something that's irrelevant, then you should think about that.
Oh,
It's what's screaming the loudest. So with this one, like this middle example, when I open my eyes, I immediately go to the champion property inspection right here in the middle. That's bringing me right to their logo. Then this little piece right down is almost like a directing angle
yeah,
that that pulls me to this line that brings me down. Okay, champion property inspection. Here's a commercial building. They've been doing this since 2015, and here's how you contact them. So immediately I'm getting a lot of good information just off the front. I know their name, I know what they do, I know that they've been doing this for a decade, they're veteran owned. Like there's some you're getting the points that you want to cross
yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
And so these design principles kind of stick through. I've got a couple more examples. Um, these are also commercial specific stuff, but it's just keeping it simple. These ones have great examples of using personal images as well, which or it kind of gives your marketing personality without you even having to be there.
Hmm.
So Al here on the left, this is a rack card that we
Yep.
created for him. He's got the CCPIA and the CPI. So he's mixing in, showing that he's doing commercial, but he also has residential background as well. Real simple, getting straight to the point, explaining what he does in a small little paragraph. Here's where he's serving. Here's his contact info. Even created a custom QR code that brings, this is a smart QR code too. So when you scan it, it'll actually bring up information on his contact card so you can it'll download his contact card onto your phone. That's
Oh,
another huge thing. It's like a basically a business card at that point, or a digital business card, which we don't we can create free QR codes that link to like a URL, but if you want to do something like that, it's like a few bucks online and totally worth it. I think that that's like a new brilliant way to get your contact information across, because
mhm.
at the end of the day, we're trying to eliminate any barriers to entry. So the getting somebody from picking up your stuff to contacting you, you just want them to be on the phone with you, and then you make the sale at that point.
As,
Um,
as an artist,
mhm.
or we'll even, marketing designer expert, um, using imagery like yourself, how do you feel about that in a multi-inspector firm? Do you think putting the principal's photo up there is beneficial, or do you think it's neutral?
Well, it can go two ways with that. If you're going to do something like a business card, 100%
Yep.
use your name or use your photo. I think that that's a great way to do it, unless you're using one that's just a general business card that you're using for your business, where you're not putting any contact information, it's
Mhm.
just your company. Then I wouldn't put any personal photo on that, unless you have a group photo. People do that as well. Do you have actual space like flyers? Some people on our residential book, custom books, home maintenance books, they'll actually have a
Mhm.
team photo. So they'll have the whole group there, and they're, everybody's dressed in their company's branded shirts and everything, and they're all looking nice, and they're out there with their arms around each other, and they take a big
Mhm.
photo like that, 12, 15 people. I think that's awesome. I think that works really well. It ties in that this is like a family, like our
Yep.
family's taking care of yours. We have all these people with all these unique backgrounds, with all this experience, all, alchemizing together to help you. And so I think that that works really well. You can push something like, I mean, there's give and take. If the sometimes with multi-inspector firms, the original owner is still kind of like leading the charge, and everybody's kind of younger and getting picked up, so the owner is like, a father, and his kids, his sons or something, or daughters, or wife or whatever, are getting into the business, so they're kind of pushing themselves first. And there's kind of varying degrees of that. Sometimes it can be like, well, you're overshadowing the
Mhm.
rest of the group, so you can kind of lean more towards just using house imagery. But if you're a solo firm, then using personal images like Mark here on the right side
Yeah.
with this flyer, I think it's a huge benefit because
Yeah.
now even when you're picking up the phone to call him, he looks friendly. You can see his face. You already have a personality being communicated before you're even in contact with somebody, and so it can be super helpful.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, it's just when I see Al and Mark here, I would anticipate them to be single inspector firms,
Mhm.
and that gives us the breadth of experience. And but you're right, it gives you that certainly that warm fuzzy that Mark and Al are going to take care of me.
Yeah,
But
yeah, for
they
sure.
have a look.
Yeah, for sure. They're pushing past. It's like if you were gonna see a bunch of like I don't know, we in the residential game we deal with a lot of people that are trying to get in contact or push their marketing in real estate offices. So a lot of people will come in and just drop off a ton of stuff, and then real estate agents will, sometimes hand out like their top three, top four recommended inspectors. And so if you're getting a stack of like, let's say they have four inspectors and each of them all gave you a rack card or all gave you a flyer, but all of them are just their basic info. But Mark here has his photo on there. Immediately, there's a psychological game that's being played
Yeah,
right there to where you can see the person and you feel a friendliness. And it does have to be a nice photo too. Some people just take little selfies and stuff and send them over in their like low bit form. And I'm like, hey, you should probably not use that. Like
yeah.
it's actually going to create the wrong effect. So, but getting like a high quality image taken of yourself like that can make a huge difference for that personal touch and go a long way with your marketing.
Well, they can't go to Sears anymore to the portrait studio, so they're gonna have to find
Yeah.
someplace else.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate because they're so easy,
Yeah,
but there's still a bunch of like photographers that you can find online in your area and a bunch of people that you can search for on Facebook or Craigslist or anything like that that have their stuff or just Google it and still get somebody. And also their phone cameras are super nice now, especially with the newest phones.
yeah.
I don't always like the images that come out of phones, but some people have sent me some good images just with their phone. If you get the right lighting and you get outside and you look professional, that can still work. Or, just hit up somebody that has a decent camera and then they can take a photo of you and then I'll edit it a little bit.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it helps a lot. Just a little bit goes a long way. Another great thing here too is that Mark actually has a good amount of solid reviews as well. And so that's something that also reinforces if you're going to be using your own image, something like testimonials. I mean, testimonials work on marketing all over the place, whether you're a multi-inspector firm or a solo project like this. It's great to have on print marketing or on print marketing that has the space for it. Some print marketing, like a business card, is a little too small to try to throw a whole testimonial on there. Then you're getting away from the keep it simple homage. But yeah,
So I
testimonials
look at
like
these
that.
two cards here,
Mhm.
and Al's certainly looks like a standard size rack card,
Yep.
but Mark's looks like it's oversized width.
Yeah, Mark's is actually a flyer. So it's kind of turned in. It looks a little cramped, but his is actually the size of a piece of paper.
It's an 8.5 by 11.
Exactly.
Okay.
While Owl's is exactly half that size since it's a
Yeah.
standard size rack card, fits in a number four envelope.
I ran a company one time, and everything they did was disproportional to everybody else. So in other
Oh,
words,
nice.
our brochures were square.
Yeah.
They were trifold, but they
Uh-huh.
were square. And so I think they were 6 inch. So I don't, so I know we wasted a lot of paper, and I think they didn't have to have special cuts.
Yeah.
Everything we did, because we didn't want it to sit there and be identical to
Yeah.
anybody else in
Yeah.
either shape, design, or feel, or however. We wanted to create that visceral feeling. So how do you feel about that?
I love it. I love it. I mean, there's some things that can go a little overboard.
Yeah.
People that are using like
Die
business
cuts.
cards that are like freaking, the size of a chunk of 2x4.
Yeah.
But even that can sometimes, work itself out. I think that there's something to be said about that idea alone. Like your marketing, the whole purpose of your marketing is to stand out and connect with somebody, to be memorable. And so you're immediately using that principle and enacting it even in the shape and size of the print marketing itself, where you're like, we're trying to stand out and be memorable and be the one that you choose. And so immediately, like, if you had a stack of brochures, you're immediately standing out,
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
the first things first.
I can't stack.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't fit.
yeah.
Immediately I'm either going to be the one you're throwing away, and you're going to remember my name all the way to the garbage, or I'm the one that goes on the bottom. That sticks out on on all four sides.
Yes,
I win.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're showing, hey, I'm not like the rest of I'm not like everybody else. I'm thinking outside the box even with my marketing, which
Excellent.
is something that as a consumer, like not even knowing your services, I might have your brochure from that company and a few other brochures, and they might have more experience, they might have better pricing. I have no idea, but I already know that this person over here, this company is trying to stand out to me and they're thinking about me already. So
Mhm.
psychologically, I'm thinking, oh man, they're thinking about how I feel about their product. They must care. They're putting in that extra effort. It's just like a bad piece of print marketing where the logo is, overcrowded, or it just looks off, or things aren't quite right, or maybe there's a typo in something. It's like immediately once you see little things that are off, it's like, oh man, they don't even have the attention to detail here to
Yeah.
like think about that. It must go into the rest of their,
Yes.
services, even if it's not true, even if they're incredible. It's like these little things they go a long way, and something
Yep.
like that I think can go a long way. I love that idea. Okay, just another. I think I got like two more sheets of
Yeah.
this.
Take your
Uh,
time.
this is just a quick example too. The consistency that gets portrayed across these is awesome. Even these little shapes of the Sandusky
Yep.
here in the background, that curve that gets played out in both the retractable banner and the brochures across. These little symbols that we took right out of the back of the logo itself, and then reinforce those shapes in the background of their business cards as well, and the banner here, um, blasting that CCPIA right there.
Yep.
It's just solid marketing. Immediately, this is something where colors for the Sandusky, um, colors actually have a psychological effect
Yeah.
on people. And so choosing specific color patterns has an emotional effect. And so this is a fantastic example of that blue and gold. That is a classic color example on the right side with Alpha here. They're a company that we actually didn't create the logo for, so I want to throw another example of that. If you already have your logo, this is something that we can still push after the fact. But these were really the main examples, is just for reinforcing consistency across your brand marketing, and that repetition and that consistency coming around and paying off for you. There's a lot of information that's being thrown across on all this marketing, but it feels cohesive. They're reinforcing their brand, they're putting personal images, and it just looks good. And then this last one here is just about keeping it simple. These ones, with both of these, they're not overcrowding information. They're not putting a bunch of stuff in your face. Their colors are straightforward, basically two main colors that they're using, both being black, and then with the JDocs, you got blue and gray. With upon request, you're just going with gold and white. And so it's basic color tones, straight to the point. Big color blocks that lead you right where you want it on both of them. You got the blue that's pushing you right into the contact information. On the other side, you got the gold leading you right to the color or contact information, which is a call to an action in itself, pushing you to say, here's us, here's how you reach us, which at the end of the day is what you want out of your marketing. Um, and so beyond that, um, there's a couple of helpful links to look for in terms of us, for getting in contact with us, for offering or seeing what we offer. One of them is our portfolio at marketing@nachi.org. I'm going to pop this over and see if you can see this. Can you see this now?
Perfectly.
Okay, perfect. This website here has a bunch of more, a lot more examples of all the different kinds of marketing that we offer. We do folders, yard signs, flyers, door hangers, business cards, rack cards, postcards, and they're all custom designed. And so all everything that we create, whether you have your logo or you need a logo created by us, we create it all custom for you. So if you have any particular message, any sort of audience that you're trying to hit, if you want to have a postcard that has a promotion with like a freaking scratch off on there or something, we can do that for you. We can create basically anything that you want. You just give us the messaging. We have an editor-in-chief that allows us to, or that will review all your information, make it sound a heck of a lot better if need be. And then we create great custom marketing for you. It looks awesome. We are in the inspection industry, so we do a lot of great marketing, and all of this stuff is free for our marketing members. It's a part of the free for our InterNACHI members. It's a part of your InterNACHI membership. It's included all the design services. So with all the stuff, you just pay for the printing and shipping. All you do is create an order. On here, that order form is inspectoroutlet.com, which is this little site right here, right on the front. You got your custom marketing, and here's all of those offerings that we have. I'll keep in touch. That's nice. You can also do that. And then you can click any of these. You can get pricing for all the stuff. All you do is create an order for that, and then we start emailing you, asking you what information that you would like on here. Do you want us to create you a logo? We send you questionnaires, and we get your whole idea down. You can send us little drawings if you have them. You can send us blurbs and paragraphs from your website, any of that kind of stuff, and we'll push that on your marketing. And if you have any other questions about that, you can always reach out to marketing@internachi.org and get in contact with us with that. But yeah, that's just
So
the InterNACHI side. But
you had mentioned, Ian, that colors.
Mhm.
Are there any buzz colors you should stay away from?
I mean, there are definitely, I wouldn't say that there's a particular color that you should say no to, but there are definitely varying saturations of colors and tones of colors that shout the wrong message. A lot of times, like, I mean, CCPIA is a great example. Like red is a color that's like proud, but can be aggressive. So you have to find that powerful tone within red that makes it feel cohesive and feel regal without going too far to like you're scaring me off. And so I would say there's definitely color palettes I wouldn't stick to. I wouldn't throw colors that don't belong together, but
Okay.
that would be bad. But
So they painted my house last week, and the first section they painted was a certain color of mustard
oh no.
brown that only reminded you of a small child's diaper. And neighbors were stopping by going, "Is that really the color?" And now I have a White House.
Yeah, there you go.
Because
And
this
that's
is
not to say that yellow colors are wrong. It's just that
just happened to be a
particularly,
hue. There's
yeah,
within the Roy G. Biv, there's a lot of different colors that can be established. And so I was just
yeah,
curious
100%.
if there was like I've worked for companies that were orange, and
Mhm.
they were orange for a certain reason. Is they sat and they had a group together, and they did a focus group, and orange gave a feeling of warmth and happiness and
Yeah.
sunshine and roses and all that other fun stuff, and they wanted to be around them. And like you said, this vibrant red gives a feeling of power, and that's
Mhm.
what matches our gargoyle that sits on top of the building, because
Exactly.
it's we're here as this industry to protect the
Yeah.
industry and our members, just like a gargoyle protects a building. So I get
Yeah, well
it.
said. Yeah,
This is
there's
great. and I don't want to confuse anybody watching this or listening to this, however you're taking this information in. All of the stuff that Ian's talking about is free for creation for InterNACHI members.
Mhm.
It is a member benefit for InterNACHI members. As far as CCPIA members, uh, we're not part of InterNACHI. We are a sister organization. That's how I lean on so many great friends like Ian to help us. But if you have a dual membership in the two associations, you can certainly use that membership tie from InterNACHI to get these services for you.
Yeah, and beyond that, there's still all the design principles you can still use outside of using InterNACHI
Absolutely.
as your marketing principle. I mean, those five are whether or not you're using us or creating it yourself or going to another freelance service,
Yep.
I would definitely say these golden rules you should put in your marketing.
That is key. And and thank you. And do you have any other advice you want to give anybody, or are you tapped out?
I would say when you're thinking about your marketing, it's exciting. It can be a little overwhelming too. Um, you can feel like you got to get it right the first time, but try stuff. Um, and sit down before you're going to create something. Collect other people's marketing. Look at other people's stuff. Make a mood board if you want to, or just collect other people's brochures and see what you like and what you don't like and what you want to say. The more time that you put in on that front end, thinking about how you want to portray yourself, what message that you want to get across, or who you want to show that you are to your potential client, what kind of values you want to show. That little work in the beginning is going to go a long way with your designs beforehand. So yeah, try stuff out, think outside the box, go for it. If it doesn't work, then just try something new. There's so many great cool ideas and fun stuff that people do with their print marketing. So yeah, try to think outside the box, make yourself stand out, do something in a cool new shape or whatever, and yeah, go for it.
No,
Don't
I know these I shouldn't have say the word podcast. So I know these sessions can last forever. But are you and your team going to be at the Pro Convention in October 10, 11, 12 this
Yeah,
year?
yeah, we are.
And are you and your team presenting at all, or are you just going to be manning a booth?
Yes, we are. CK and I, which is one of our other logo designers,
Hmm?
we're going to do a presentation. I think Lydia might be there too, and she runs social media as well. So I think we're going to do a joint presentation on one of those days.
So all of those resources for those that are participating with Ian and I are going to be at the Pro Convention in October 10th, 11th, 12th of 2024. And so I bet you if you come with your ideas and you find one of these guys, either CK or Ian or anybody else at the marketing booth, I bet you they'll be tickled to answer your questions.
100%. We're always there. We're always happy. Bring some of your marketing around. Ask us what our opinion is, and we'll give it to you. We're honest.
That's terrific. Thank you, Ian, for taking time today. If I don't see you, I'll see you in October.
Yeah, sounds good, man. I'll see you in October.
Thanks.
See you, Rob.